Good evening all. Today we're talking about a show that has probably been on your radar because of the sheer amount of hype on social media. And I've got to say, it's definitely deserved. As you can guess by the title and from what I've just said, today we're talking about... Sorry, I just couldn't resist. A couple of months back, Amazon Prime started releasing Invincible with weekly episodes starring Stephen Yeun from The Walking Dead and J.K. Simmons, who you may know as J. Jonah Jameson. I didn't manage to catch it when it was releasing, but better late than never. So I elected to watch it, and I thought I'd like to share my opinion on it with you fine folks. Anyway, I'm going to be going into super heavy spoilers here, so if you've not watched it, go watch it and come back. And for those of you still here, let's begin. I really like the animation style of Invincible. It's really fluid, and every single character looks really distinct. And omni-man especially looks really cool, and weirdly similar to J. Jonah Jameson, which confused me when I saw the trailers because I thought it was some weird, obscure Marvel project I hadn't heard about. It's not, but it is good in its own right, and the lack of affiliation with Disney is probably how they got away with the absolutely graphic bloodshed on screen, which really surprised me. I didn't expect sunshine and rainbows, don't get me wrong, but god damn, it really earns its 18 rating here in the UK. It's a really good casting choice to have Stephen Yeun play Mark Grayson, as he absolutely knocks it out of the park, especially in the more emotional moments we'll cover momentarily. Anyway, Mark Grayson as a character is really well written and doesn't feel like a Hollywood caricature of a teenage boy, instead coming across quite genuine, which is really rare to see done in films and TV shows, let alone done well like it is here. The show, admittedly, does feel pretty similar to The Boys at points, in terms of its content and the villain being a Superman type, but I don't say this to diminish the value of the show. Instead, I'm saying it to point out that shows like this are becoming more and more frequent, and eventually it's going to become quite a saturated market, as opposed to the fresh and different take on the genre that The Boys and Invincible have been praised so heavily for. Another great character in this series is Omni-Man, who is played spectacularly by J.K. Simmons. And Omni-Man is genuinely terrifying, which, from what I've heard and seen of the comics, is an incredibly important aspect of the character. Whenever he's on screen, there's always a sense of danger, as we saw what he did to the other heroes, and no one else does, so it feels like at any moment he could just flip and start obliterating those around him. And I really can't wait to see what they do with him in Invincible Season 2, after his sudden disappearance. But if his portrayal in Season 1 is anything to go by, it will be amazing. And one final note I'd like to make about Omni-Man is his fight with Invincible, as it's an insanely good moment, and perhaps the best of the season. While watching the show, I had no clue who played Amber, and once I Google it, I realised that I recognised her voice actress. As some of you might know, I'm a huge Community fan, so seeing that it was Gillian Jacobs, also known as Britta Perry, played her was definitely a welcome surprise. She does a really good job, and I don't know why I felt this important to mention, but I guess it's just cool and just wanted to talk about it. So yeah, I'm talking about it. I've heard that the season barely covered any of the comics, only little bits from a few different volumes, so there's so many places they can take it. I would like to read these comics, but don't want to know anything about the show's future, so I'll probably hold off until the show is over. Usually my videos like this are a lot longer, but I've said what I want, and dragging it out won't benefit me or you, so I won't be doing that. I'm considering covering the new Fast and Furious movie, as it's releasing soon, and I've got a few things to say about the trajectory of the franchise as a whole, so keep an eye out for that. If there's anything that you, the audience, want to see, let me know, as I love to hear from you. And as a closing statement, I'd like to thank you all for watching, subscribe if you enjoy, and ask, what are your thoughts on